Hi there, and welcome to the Cotswold Explorer. I'm Robin Shuckburgh, and we're exploring the wonderful region of the Cotswolds in southwest England. We've decided to revisit the centre of the region and find some hidden gems, places that are not quite so famous, but still just as beautiful. Today you find Ross, Widget Gizmo and me in a tiny hamlet called Clapton on the Hill. Now this is the sort of place you just wouldn't come unless you were walking. There is nowhere, literally nowhere, to leave a car, let alone a bus. But we're doing the travelling for you. We've brought you to this tiny place, amazingly atmospheric, and its minute little church. We're going to show you around. Come with me. Not for the first time whilst exploring the tinier lanes of the Cotswolds, we've stumbled upon a beautiful little settlement that I, for one, had never, to my knowledge, heard about. Clapton on the Hill is a minute hamlet sitting on the hilltop just above Bourton on the water, with incredible views of the surrounding countryside. It's only a few miles from Northleach and the A40, and it's on the Monarch's Way, a 625-mile footpath that follows, as far as possible, the escape route taken by King Charles II in 1651 after being defeated at the Battle of Worcester. It runs from Worcester via Bristol and Yeovil to Shoreham, West Sussex. We last touched on this walking route in Hampnet, just above Northleach, a few miles south of here. This gives a hint as to the best way to visit this little village. On foot. There's nowhere really to stop a car, and it's quite difficult even to turn around once you're there. But don't be put off, the views are great, and the little church of St James's has a peaceful, contemplative feel about it that certainly calms the soul. One way properly to experience the peace and quiet of this village might be to stay in the B&B in Clapton Manor, just next to the church. Now, we haven't stayed here ourselves, but we've read the reviews, and I've spoken at length to the lovely lady who runs it, and it's very hard to think of a more peaceful place to base yourself for a visit to the Cotswolds. She has suggested, incidentally, that it would have been surly of Charles II not to have stopped for a glass of mead as he passed in 1651, and that therefore he probably did, which seems reasonable to me. The little church of St James is a chapelry of Bourton on the Water. It was an early possession of Evesham Abbey, and is one of the smallest churches in the Cotswolds. But it's an active church, and clearly an integral part of the community of Clapton. Most of the building is 12th or 13th century, with major restoration from the 17th century. The bell is inscribed Henry Bagley, made in 1742, and was cleaned, rehung and rededicated in 1986, following the strengthening of the rather unusual campanile. The nave is just 30 foot by 13 and the chancel 15 by 11, so it's tiny, with a nice south porch. On the abacus, which is the square stone slab which supports the north respond of the chancel arch, is a two-line inscription in Lombardic lettering that reads, translated of course, "Whoever shall say 3 times devoutly a Pater and an Ave on his knees and in person, lo, there is a reward then and there of 1,000 days." An ambitious promise, perhaps from a slightly over-enthusiastic resident priest. The font is a traditional Norman tub, but its bottom has been shaved at some time to fit the later octagonal shaft. The latest addition to the church is a new window in the north chancel, to commemorate the Queen's Diamond Jubilee. Engraved by Philip Lawson Johnson and installed in January 2012. The wrought iron gate to the church pathway was made by a local craftsman, Raymond Phillips. And there is a small garden for reflection just beside the gate, with terrific views over the Windrush Valley. It has a horseshoe entrance gate made by a villager, Peter Tissell, and given to the village by the local McBrain family. It's a lovely Cotswold gem, this village. Just tread lightly when you visit. I hope you've enjoyed our little trip around Clapton on the Hill. It is tiny, it's beautiful, it's very atmospheric, and you can imagine walking around here what life would have been like 150 years ago. It's so pretty. But as I said, it's an unusual place because it sits on this lovely hill surrounded by great views. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Remember to press the little bell icon, that way we can tell you where we're going next. And we look forward to seeing you again very soon, somewhere else in the Cotswolds.